right. All right, hello everybody. I see a couple people starting to roll in right now. What I'm going to ask you guys to do as I just give this a minute or so to let everyone join. Go ahead, there is a little chat bubble there that says the word chat. I'm opening it up now. I'd love if you guys would be able to just say hello to me and tell me where you're from. I just posted something in there saying hello, thanks for joining. So again, go ahead and find that area there where Olive Branch, thank you, good to see you. Cynthia, thanks for joining. Go ahead and hello, Larry and Beth and Jewel from Beaumont, Texas. Good old Texas. Never been to Beaumont, I've definitely been to Austin, that's a good time. Dallas a couple times. Anybody else? Where are you guys from? Got 7 people in here. All right, I'm gonna give one more. Lantana, Texas, north of Dallas. Shauna, welcome, thank you. So again, I'll give it one more minute here as people are gonna start rolling in. Again, thank you so much for joining. I promise that I will get this going quickly. I know it's 2 o'clock. Many of you are ready to end your day. And some of you parents are just about to start, as your kids come home from school or practice. All right, so one more minute here to allow some people to come in. Anybody else want to tell me where they're from? Maybe some of you are on phones and you don't have the ability to write in. All right. Well, great. Well, thank you so much. I'll start rolling here. Thank you so much for joining me today in our FieldLevel webinar on the 4 ways to jumpstart your recruiting using FieldLevel. I want to first just kind of introduce myself and let you know who I am. I know that whenever I'm listening to somebody speak, I want to know who the heck they are, where they come from, experience-wise. So obviously, I work for FieldLevel, and I'm I know our system pretty well, and that's why I'm doing these webinars, but I'm also a high school football coach, and I've been doing that for many years. That was kind of the career path I was on, to be a high school football coach, college football coach, but decided to do that in a different way, and wanted to have the opportunity to work with FieldLevel, and decided to do that along with coaching. So I'm still a high school football coach. Just moved to the San Diego area from Los Angeles. So last year was a great year. The team I was part of won a championship, and hopefully I'm able to bring some of that experience to the new team. So yeah, I'm excited to be here, and excited to help you guys out. So as you guys noticed in that chat area, that's where I will start fielding questions at the end. So if there's something that pops into your mind that you want to ask a question, let me finish, and then if I didn't answer it, go ahead and throw that in there. And if I can't answer it, meaning I don't have the answer, then we'll make sure to link back up another time. That's so I can get you that answer. I don't want to give any false information out. So I'm going to start sharing our deck here. All right. Okay, so 4 ways to jumpstart your recruiting on FieldLevel. Most of you are probably parents. Some of you may be athletes. I'll be talking about just quick broad strokes of FieldLevel, just who we are, what we do, how we operate. Then I'll get into the core of our webinar today, the 4 ways to jumpstart your recruiting on FieldLevel, and then I'll get through some questions and answers. So for those of you who don't know, maybe some of you parents are on here, you got roped on, your athlete, your son or daughter is on, and you don't know a whole bunch about it. We're glad that you're here so we can teach you. FieldLevel is the athletic network where coaches and athletes connect to discover, create, and pursue opportunities to play at the next level. Again, I'm a coach, and I remember I was at a new school, and I was the one in charge of helping our athletes find opportunities, and I was just slaving away hours and hours and hours trying to build out Excel spreadsheets and make phone calls and emails, do all this stuff, all this introduction for my athletes just to get them some opportunities. And then I remember meeting the founder of FieldLevel and him telling me about how great this platform is for coaches like myself to help athletes find those opportunities. And immediately it fixed the pain point. It was a simple solution for me as a coach to connect with college coaches nationwide to help get my athletes in front of their eyeballs. And we'll talk more about those things today, but it is such a great network where we keep the high school and club coach at the very center of this process. That'll be a topic and a theme that you'll definitely get the sense of as I keep talking about it. And it helped me so much. It helped my athletes, and many of my athletes have now moved on to play at the college level. Some of them because they're high-level athletes, and they got seen by college coaches coming to campus. And then many, many more of them are out there playing college football now because they got promoted on our network through me to colleges. So, and I'm really happy to be able to share this information with more people. So thank you again for joining. Some things about our network. We serve 11 sports. We've got baseball, softball, football, men's and women's basketball, men's and women's volleyball. Men's volleyball is the newest addition. Men's and women's soccer, and men's and women's lacrosse. The information over here on the right-hand side: 61,000 plus teams, 90,000 plus coaches, 340 plus 1,000 athletes, and then 58,000 plus commitments. Those numbers are all literally moving in increments of thousands on the day. So we've got a very, very large network within those 11 sports. How does FieldLevel work? So some of our user types, college coaches, they sign up, they add their athletes. They sign up and they add their staff. The way they kind of break that down within college coaching staffs is typically two core ways. One, they are directed to have a responsibility geographically, or they're responsible for a certain position. So they recruit the country, but there's that one position. So that's how they kind of break that up. So college coaches are under not only the head, but the assistants as well. They connect with the high school and club coaches nationwide, not only nationwide, but literally like worldwide. They're able to search athletes using our search filter. We'll touch on that real briefly at the end. Post-recruiting needs, that's a new feature for us where they're able to post a specific need for that grad class to coaches on their network. So the coaches at the high school and club level will have a better understanding of what that school really needs at the moment, so they can send them targeted recommendations. And then athletes get recommended to them, whether it be because of a athletic need posted or because a high school or club coach just felt like that athlete would be a good fit and recommended them to the school and coach blindly. As I take these sips, don't worry, I'm not drinking beer. That'll definitely be this weekend, but just some seltzer water. High school and club coaches, those are our next group here. They sign up, they add their staff, whether it's a club coach, it's a director of operation, they add the various head coaches and assistants or coaching directors, whether it's a high school coach and it's the head coach and their assistants on there. They can add their staff. They connect with college coaches, literally nationwide. Again, saying a minute ago about the international field that we have with our network. Coaches and athletes all over the country, all over our country, and all over many other countries that use FieldLevel. They add and certify their athletes. That's not so much for today's webinar, but basically they get the athlete on their account, on their roster, and then they're able to certify and project those athletes. They collaborate with the athletes and you, the parents, and the right fit for the athlete moving on to college and who they can best promote them to. And then they communicate with college coaches around the country. They communicate with you guys. They communicate with the athletes, and they can use our messaging platform that's in our system, both on the computer and in the app, to do so. And then you guys, parents and athletes, you guys are so important to this. Obviously, our goal is to help athletes move on and play at the next level. That's what our goal is. That's what we strive to do every day, is to build that network for coaches to help those athletes. But you parents are extremely important, and I'll touch on that more as we move on. But you guys sign up, you connect with your coach references. That's a big part of today's discussion. You build your profile and your target schools list. Another huge part of our webinar today. Track college activity, and then obviously communicate with your high school and club coach within our system, and you're able to communicate with college coaches as they start contacting you and offering you the communications during the recruiting process. So now we'll get into the part of our webinar that you guys all came for today, and that's the 4 ways to jumpstart your recruiting. So first, what you're going to do is you're going to connect with your coach reference. I'm going to beat this to death. We we are different as a company in the recruiting space because we know that college coaches want to speak to high school coaches about athletes. They want to learn about the athletes from the high school and club coach, their counterparts in their sport, because they know that they are the expert about that athlete when it comes to who they are, what they are as an athlete and as a person on the field or court of play. So college coaches are connecting with high school coaches nationwide, and that means the high school coach is your best recommendation, your best resource for the athlete to be recommended and promoted to colleges. So connecting with the coach reference is the most important part of field level. You've got to be connected. I'm going to go ahead and show you screen grabs of our site to show these areas. So as you can see on the right-hand side, there's a little arrow blue button there. That's just an area on the profile. This is an athlete profile where you can just kind of cycle through what teams are connected to. But to add yourself to a team, over here on the left-hand side, this left-hand side, not a navigation area, is a spot where we're going to be focused on for the next couple minutes here. In this team area, you can see there's 3 teams on there. They can click that edit button. That would take them to here, where they'd be able to now join another team. We recommend that you're being added to all the teams that you're part of. And we allow that and we encourage that on field level. So we know that many of the athletes are playing a club sport and a high school sport. And so to be able to be on both of those rosters is amazing. Just like we'd all want to have more recommendation sources on our resumes going for jobs, we have the same ability here on field level to have more coaches vouching and verifying and certifying and recommending these athletes. So you can go ahead and click here to join a team. You put the information into here to find the team if they're on field level, and then from there you would click next. If they are on field level, you'd be sent to that coach, and that coach would then verify you and add you to their recruiting roster. If not, you go to this page, and then you'd be able to invite that coach on to field level. So from here, I use some goofy Game of Thrones themes on here, although I am not very happy with this last season's results. Definitely on here, you can go and find your coach. You can put their name in there, put their email address in there. I'm assuming most of you that are part of any team at the high school or club level, they've given you information with their email address. So you can go ahead, throw that in there, and you can go ahead and invite that coach. The coach will get the email that you're on, that you're asking them to be basically your mouthpiece to help you get recruited, and they will hopefully sign on. If there is any issues with that, feel free to contact me personally. I'll give you my contact information at the end, or any of us at field level, and we are glad to contact the coach on our own and just encourage them to get on the field level, tell them more about us, as we are a free network for them. So next up is building a complete profile. So we showed you a little bit of the profile here, but now we're going to get real deep into it. So right now I'm on an athlete's profile page here, Cassidy. And Cassidy first has a great picture on here. It is very important to make sure that you have a profile picture on your profile, just like the athlete we use here. Mark, great pictures here, great headshots. Make sure you have a picture on there. Coaches can now put a face to a name to a face. Very helpful. It just shows that there's a complete profile being put together. As we move down the line here on the left-hand side, again, we're going to focus on the left-hand side for right now. Put the basics in. Age, your hometown, where you live. For her, at women's volleyball, we have height. For things like football, we have height and weight. So we definitely, depending on the sport, put different measurements in there. Next, we were talking about the team, but we'll move on to the on-court. Again, this is a women's volleyball athlete, so it's on-court. But for those of you who have athletes playing field sports, be on the field, where you put your position, you put your dominant hand, and the pertinent information to your position on the field or court. This next slide here is going to have contact information. That is the athlete's contact information. Now, this information, this key thing here, you parents understand, this information is private. A college coach cannot just go to this page, to an athlete's page, and just pull that information. The high school or the club coach has to release that information. And again, we keep the coach, the high school club coach, at the center. They are the gatekeeper. They are the people that are in charge of this process. So if a coach finds this athlete through our search filters, and I'll touch on that later, they say, hey, I saw Cassidy. I think she'd be a great fit for our program. will you release her information so I can now start the recruiting process and get in contact with her? The coach has the opportunity either to say yes or no, and go about allowing that to go forward. So contact information there. Next is academics. Obviously, it goes without saying, academics is highly important when it comes to playing a college sport. Many of the colleges out there have some form of academic standard. Many of the ones that we deal with have high academic standards, and making sure that your information is there so they can see it. They can see what GPA you have, what SAT, ACT, and putting your major in there also is very helpful. Many schools hang their hat on some kind of a major. They're a nursing major school. They're great in engineering or architecture or fire science, all kinds of stuff that we hear every day that they specialize in. And when they see an athlete that might match up with what their specialty is, that'll help them realize that might be a great athlete for them to pursue. It also helps in the search portion. If an athlete let's say an athlete's got a 3.8 GPA and a school is searching for an athlete that at least has a 3.5 GPA, meaning that your son or daughter might be an academic or a fit for that school based on their GPA, they can search for that. But if your athlete doesn't have their GPA in there, they won't be able to be searched. So make sure that that is a full area there, especially your junior and senior years. Speaking of junior, senior years, we encourage that athletes get signed up on FieldLevel, fill out their profile, and again, I'm going to keep going down the steps. But as soon as they are playing a varsity sport, or if they're in a club and they are a high school age athlete, start doing this. Maybe obviously they won't have the SAT information, but go ahead and just plug in their GPA on there. Maybe plan major that they're interested in now. Obviously that'll change at some point in their high school career, maybe not, but make sure you fill that information out. Next is academic transcripts. Coaches at the college level are able to take that. They see a GPA, they see an SAT, they know, okay, these meet some criteria, but let me see what this school does for their core requirements that match up with our college's core requirements. They can click on that link to check out their transcripts and know right away that things are meeting academically, and they'll be an easy athlete to get into their school academically with their admissions department. You can go ahead and probably go get the transcript from your registrar or someone in the front office at your high school. Next is honors and achievements. As you guys can assume, this is a profile page really bragging about the athlete. This is a place where they get to showcase things. So go ahead and throw on those honors and achievements, whether they're academic, athletic, whatever the case may be. Throw that on there. Those are important. You guys earn those. Your sons and daughters earn those. Throw it on there, show off a little bit, and put that information in. Next is hobbies and interests, and this is a funny one. Literally yesterday, we were talking to a coach that said that an athlete on their program filled this portion out with fishing and hunting, and a coaching staff saw this. They liked the athlete, and then they saw the hobbies and interests. And I guess this coach's staff, a lot of them like to hunt and fish, and this young person liked to hunt and fish. So it was a quick connection. They got to talk about hunting and fishing while they're talking sports. And the recruiting process went pretty quickly because that college coach knew, you know what, this is the kind of kid that's going to mix well with our coaching staff because of the hobbies and interests that they put on there. So is that a one-off opportunity? Maybe, but it could be something that really helps just kind of showcase what that young person is really like, what they're into, what makes them tick. And then lastly here, I've got parents and guardians. You guys are so darn important to this process. As a coach myself, I'm around teenagers every day. I'm not a parent, but I'm around teenagers every day. I've got plenty of friends with kids, and we all know that teenagers think that they've got it all figured out, right? And you guys are all probably nodding your head along with me, rolling your eyes like, oh, I know, my son and daughter really thinks they got it all together. We know at FieldLevel that you are a highly important person in this process. When it comes to recruiting, you're helping these athletes stay organized, getting their information out, helping them with their scholastic endeavors, making sure that they're being pushed on and off the field. And we know you're so important, and we've made it pretty much within our sign-in portion now, our onboarding, pretty difficult to get them to move through without getting parent information on there. Again, we do that because we know it's best for the athlete to have their parents involved, and we also know that we want to make sure that we're in contact with you to keep you up to date on what's happening and to give you best practices to help your athletes. So again, back into the profile. Now we're in the middle portion. So we talked about the left-hand portion. Now we're going to talk this middle portion. This middle portion is really important for you guys to add film. Add video, add film, add video, add film, add video, add film. If I haven't said enough times, hopefully you get it. It is super important. No college coach is going to recruit an athlete if they cannot see film on that athlete being played, or find a way to see them in person. So the best way for that to start, that process to start, is for coaches to see the athlete on film, whether that's highlight films, whether it's game film, whether it's drill tape, whatever the case may be. You gotta have film on FieldLevel, and it's very, very easy. All you need to do is you need to take the link from whatever site you guys use for film upload, film data, storage, whether it's YouTube or Huddle or Crossover, wherever the platform is. You take that link, and all you gotta do is copy it and paste it right underneath that gray area where it says paste a YouTube, Huddle, or website link here. Right away, what will happen as soon as you plug that link in and you hit post the timeline, you'll get to here, and as you can see, there's video in here with a little play logo, and you're able to now watch this video straight from the profile. So coaches at college level are able to see all the pertinent information, all the GPA, the SATs, the transcripts, what position, how big, how tall, different measurables that they have. They're able to see recommendations from the coach. They can read their where they project in the play, and they can watch their film all from one spot on the profile. It's a one-stop shop for recruiting here on this profile page. So make sure you add film. Coaches at the college level want to see a progression. They want to see, what you were like as a sophomore, and how you developed as a junior, and then how you increase on that development from junior year to your senior year. They want to see you moving through, the levels. They want to see you becoming a better athlete, better skilled, better more ability to play the sport that you're trying to be recruited for. So put film on. Super, super important. And as you can see, those arrows there show the film. All right. Next up is research colleges. And again, these are the 4 ways to jumpstart your recruiting on FieldLevel. So we are now on way number 3. So research colleges. This picture right here I saw the other day, and I really wanted to put it on our webinar today. And this is a screen grab from the NCAA website. And what this is these little dots represent Division I, Division II, and Division III level athletic programs in America. And there's a little bit of Florida got taken out. I think a little tiny bit of maybe Rhode Island or Massachusetts got taken off a little bit over there on the side. But this is just a quick visual to show you that there are so many colleges in this country that have athletic programs. And again, this is as big as I could get the fit. But if you were to zoom in on California, if you were to zoom in on certain parts of the East Coast, those would widen out and show you how many dots are within that little cluster. So there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of schools that have athletic departments. And on this map does not include NAIA or junior colleges. So there are so many options for people to research and look into for a college and athletic fit for the athletes. As a former college football player and high school football coach, I'm doing this for a long time, and working with FieldLevel for the last 2 years, I honestly come across a new school that I've never heard of every single day. And it's really helpful to know that there's so many options out there, and not just to keep your options in a one little tight geographic location. So great visual for you guys. With that said, FieldLevel has a college search feature within our site where you're able to put information of what you're looking for in school on the left-hand side. And through there, we'll promote you a bunch of options and matches to what you're looking for. And so what that'll do is it allows you to start learning or having more ideas of schools in your mind for you to research. Hey, Southern New Hampshire University. I've never heard of that school in my life until doing this webinar, because I took this screen grab from our site. It's a Division II school in New Hampshire. If that's an option for you, if that's a place that might be a great option for you, because that's what we gave to you in the search filter, I would recommend that, because we have a proprietary algorithm that gives you that. I will go ahead and trust that, go and start researching those schools, see if they'd be a good fit, see if you can handle maybe the environment where they live or where the school is, that kind of city culture. And then if it's a great fit, you'll be able to throw that onto your target school list. So again, use this. So many colleges. Here's where you can learn more about colleges that would be a good fit for you. And next thing, once you have those lists, those ideas in your mind of where you want to go to school, you can start building out a target school list. And that's up here. So build your target school list. So right here is our target school list. And again, this is a screen grab, so I'm not able to show you all the visual functionality, but I will show you or talk through some of the things that we have here. So you can see that they're ranked 1 through 5 all on the screen. I recommend that you guys have at least 20 schools in your target school list. As we all, you know, as we're growing up and doing changes, and this school was a school that I really want to go to, but now this school jumped up, or this is my dream school, and this is my safety school, whatever the case may be, go ahead and throw those on here. Have at least 20, just help yourselves out, and you're able to move these schools around. So just like you guys change your mind at some point, you're able to do that as well off field level. So you're able to move, let's say, Point Loma Nazarene University, you can move that up to number 3 and drop number 3 down to number 4, and vice versa all around this list to make sure that you guys are keeping yourselves organized. And that's the great thing about our target school list, is it helps you stay organized. And as you can notice here, there's a bar, and it slides. And as you put your targets together, all of them will obviously be on the word target. And after there's contact made, so let's say a college contacts the athlete, that means that that college is now in contact with you. Go ahead and slide that bar. If they offer you, slide it over to offer. If you commit, bam, congratulations. The goal, all of our goals have been met. Your coach's goal, your goal, the parent's goal, our goal at field level, but in providing a great network for you. You guys have got a commitment, which is awesome. But what this does is helps you stay organized in what you're looking for and where your ideas are, where you want to go to school and play for. And it also helps your coach see what you have as your target school list. And that brings me to a little bit of a side point, is in this time frame while you're getting on the field level, you're building out your profile, you're developing your target school list. This is the time to have a sit-down conversation with your coach. I encourage parents to be there, athletes and coach to be there. And this is where everyone get on the same page, because when I was a kid, I thought, when I was in high school, I thought, and I'm going to date myself here, I thought I was going to be the next Joe Montana. I realized real quick in high school that that wasn't going to happen, but I was still good enough to play at the college level. But if I went to my coach, I'm like, you know what, I can only play at XYZ major Division I school. I probably would have never gotten any opportunities to play college ball, but because I knew what level I could play at, or I should play at, that opened up the door and gave me more opportunities and options to play. So definitely a time to speak with your coaches, make sure you're on the same page about projection level-wise, for them to know where you guys want to live geographically, where you parents feel comfortable with them living geographically, and also some of the finances. Not every school is able to provide scholarship. Maybe they're able to provide financial aid and different things of that nature. Again, that's not today's webinar, but definitely an opportunity to meet with those coaches to let them know where you're looking and where you want to be promoted to and interested in going. And then with that, so here's your target school list. And along with keeping yourself organized, along with keeping your coach knowledgeable about where you want to go, it also, once you put a school on your target school list, it allows a coach at the college level to be able to search for that. So they can just search for targeting my school, and a college coach will then get surfaced a list of names of kids that are wanting to play for that program because they put them on the target school list. A common question I am asked is, okay, we put the school on our target school list. Can that school see what rank we have them? So if we have them at 20, will they see that there are 20th on the list, or if there is a second on the list? The answer is no, that is private. They are just able to see that the athlete has them on their target school list, and that is, again, the list is built out for them based on that search criteria. So now I have gotten you in a good situation with FieldLevel, how to build out your great profile, how to connect with your coach, how to use college search, why you should use college search, building out your target school list to keep yourself organized, your coach organized and knowledgeable. And now I want to touch on 2 brief things. And these are real quick broad strokes. 1, how the heck is an athlete seen on FieldLevel? Well, that's 2 ways. 1, promoted by coaches. That is the most impactful way. Again, this platform is centered around high school and club coaches. They are the best voice for the athlete, the best recommendation source. So they will then have the opportunity to promote athletes to colleges around the country, and the college coaches are able to see those promotions in their inbox. So that's way one. Way two is college coaches can search for athletes based on our search criteria that we've got a filter for them to do. And they can do things, search things based on, position, grad year, GPA, like I talked to you guys about earlier, geographic location, projection levels that coaches give them. And they can use that filter to narrow down things that they're looking for, positions they're looking for within their program. And then lastly, all the stuff I've talked about, it's all free. Again, it's great about FieldLevel. We provide so much value for nothing, for free. That's why coaches love us. That's why parents and athletes love us. But we also have a premium plan. And our premium plan really opens up the door for so many things within our network. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about our premium plan. That's for another webinar. But some broad strokes on that, you're able to see exactly who's following you and see exactly what activity you have. Right now, you're able to only see generic information. With our premium plan, you're able to see exactly who's looking and how often. So you'll be able to narrow down who's truly interested. You'll give not only premium to yourself, but you give that premium plan to your coach. And that coach gets to only use that premium for you because you've turned on that premium. So instead of being able to promote you to just coaches in their network, which is what they can do using free, if you have the premium plan, you open the door for them to promote you to anybody in the network. So that can go from 100 coaches in that coach's immediate network while they're using the free platform, and you are trying to help you, the athlete, out using just those 100, to 10,000 coaches in the coaches network. And obviously, the more the more people that they can promote you to, the more eyeballs are going to be on you, the athletes, and more offers, more commitments, and so on and so forth. So very helpful to open up that network. Next, finding the right fit. We have a recommendations tool that we help with athletes and parents and coaches in giving them information and recommendations based on lots of information about these different schools, and giving them great tips on where they should be looking and where other people have gone from that area, things of that nature, and then provides them the school, the location. But right now it is very generic, just like a Division II school in Ohio is a good fit for you. That opens up and tells you exactly what school and where it is. So that helps you narrow down your search and help you do more research on great opportunities. And then lastly, letters of interest. Not only does a college coach want to hear from a high school and club coach that the athlete would be a good fit, but they love knowing that the athlete wants to be there as well. So with letters of interest in our premium plan, they're able to write 3 letters of interest, and that's another story for another webinar, but they can write letters of interest to colleges on their target school list, answering 2 core questions: why they want to go to that program, play for that program, and why they want to live in that geographic location. So that really helps the college coach know not only does the coach believe that they can play for them, but now the athlete truly has put the effort out in writing to them, letting them know why they want to play for that program. So really good information there in our premium plan. But again, those are just quick broad strokes. This is my my contact information. So I'm now going to open things up here for you guys to start asking some questions. So go ahead and use that little chat area there, a little chat box, a little dot, little talking chat icon. If you guys don't want to ask a question, that's fine. If you don't have any, that means I've done a great job of explaining everything. But if you've got some questions, go ahead and throw them up there in the chat area. I'll do my best in answering those. If you don't want to ask a question right now and you want to talk individually, here's my information. Please contact me. That's my email. That's my business cell. That's on me at all times. You can call or text, leave messages, whatever the case may be. I'll get back to you. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at FieldLevel. It's pretty simple there. So I'm now going to jump into the questions and answers now. Let's see what we got. When will the premium webinar be? We can do an individual one. I'm not sure what next week's webinar subject's going to be. Last week was on premium. This week was more about getting you set up for success. I'm going to send you an email tomorrow. I'm going to send all of you an email tomorrow to follow up, and there'll be some information about premium in that email. And you can contact me individually to have a one-on-one demo, or one of our other teammates here. We can also, and you can also just stay tuned follow those social media handles there and those sites, and information about premium webinars will be on there as well. Anybody else? Thank you, Larry, for that question. Shauna, thanks for your question. So Shauna's question, her son is going to be a sophomore next year, and NCAA, in her understanding, NCAA rules, coaches can't talk to freshmen or sophomores. There is different rules for different sports, different levels and divisions in the NCAA. We've got articles on that you can find about contact periods on our website. Feel free to cruise through those, or just contact me directly. Again, those are my specific contact information. Contact me direct, and I can send you links to that information as well. You're welcome, and thanks for joining, Shauna. I appreciate it. Anything else, guys? Larry, thank you. Appreciate that. Flattery is my favorite thing. Someone posted in the question and answers here. Let's see what we got. Do high school coaches have access to premium services, or do they have to subscribe? Yeah, so that's a good question. Do high school coaches have the ability to sign up for premium? So high school coaches are there's no premium for a high school coach that they can sign up for themselves. Everything is through the athlete. So a high school coach can go on, and we have team premium features where a high school coach can go on and they can turn on athletes themselves, but they would then have to pay for that athlete's premium. So it'd be coming out of their credit card. So if you're Booster Club, great question. If your Booster Club wanted to do something along the lines of having all of the athletes have premium, so that means giving the coach the open door and the open window to premium for every single one of the athletes, that's a great idea, but it would come from the Booster Club's credit card or whoever wanted to put on their credit card. Great question. And again, if you wanted to get more detailed information about that, please hit me up. We'd love to talk about that. Anything else? Anybody else in the chat area there have any questions? No. All right. Going once, going twice. Anybody left? All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate your time. It's very valuable to me for you guys to just join me on these kinds of field level webinars where we get to educate some coaches, sometimes some athletes, parents, whatever our audience is. I'm always grateful for your time. If you have any questions, contact me individually, and I'll get an email out to all of you tomorrow with some information and thanking you for joining me. And if you have any questions, shoot me up. Shoot me a call or text. And other than that, have a great weekend. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and take care, everybody.